What if you could travel the world, stay in amazing hotels, and never overpay again? Well, today I'm talking with someone who's mastered that exact skill, and he's living proof that you can take your passion for travel, turn it into a business, and build an incredible life abroad. Welcome back to the Expat Livin Podcast, the show that helps you get you from where you are to where you want to be anywhere in the world. Our guest today is David Bryson, also known as the Hotel Hustler. He's a real estate agent turned travel expert who's built a YouTube channel showing how to unlock upgrades, stretch your budget, and get those 5-star experiences without the 5-star price. Originally from Phoenix, David's journey is packed with lessons about travel hacking, relocation, and just reinventing yourself overseas. If you ever dreamed of living abroad and traveling smarter while you do it, this episode's for you. Let's jump in.
New horizons start to glow. One-way ticket to the sun. Your expat life has just begun.
All right, welcome back to the Expat Livin Podcast. This week's guest is David Bryson. David has a remarkable business, and I want him to share a story. In fact, you want, I'm just going to stop talking and introduce him. David, tell me what inspired you to create the Hotel Hustler?
Guillermo, when I met my wife, we were going on a trip to Europe. This is about 10 years ago, and she wanted to stay at Airbnbs, and I wanted to stay at Hilton's. And she goes, "Why do you want to stay at Hilton's?" And I said, "Well, I love getting the experience of another city, but I said I sort of love coming back to sort of Western things at night. You know, if something goes wrong, I know they're going to help me. I got a bed, I got a phone, I have sort of all the creature comforts." And she was like, So we did some Airbnbs, we did some Hiltons, and after our first trip, she was like, "All right, I'm in with you on the Hilton thing." So it's sort of about helping people to get more out of their travel experience, and particularly their hotel experience.
That's incredible. And so what first sparked your passion to find the best hotel experience without overpaying for it?
I mean, it's all born out of my parents. So I'm grateful for the gift of travel. And probably when I was a kid, maybe like you stayed at, Motel Sixes and Holiday Inns as you do road trips across the country. And I remember my dad had a business trip one time and we stayed at a hotel in Colorado Springs called the Broadmoor. And I was just like, "Oh, wow." I was like, "This is the most beautiful hotel ever." I'm like, when I grow up, I want to stay at places like this. And so
Yeah.
about 20 years ago, I was reading a travel vlog on how this guy was sort of hotel hustling deals at hotels through not, he didn't have airline credit cards, he had hotel credit cards. And that's about the first time I got a branded hotel credit card. And it sort of spurned me down that path to stay at as nice a places as possible for as little as possible.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you know what? I gotta tell you, I'm a little envious because you know my situation. I've got 4 kids, 6 of us with dogs. It's a little, and I'm like you. I like to be pampered sometimes. I love to be in a hotel. We are in that season of our life where I feel like it's very difficult to do anything other than an Airbnb. And so now I have a bunch of questions for you. So I'm going to go sideways because this is not all one of them. What do you do for somebody like me? Like, is it possible with a sort of larger family to still partake in that hotel experience?
Absolutely, it is. I mean, I think the thing that I learned a long time ago is you gotta be loyal to a chain, no matter
Mm,
who you're gonna be loyal to, whether it be, Marriott or Hilton or whoever it is, you gotta start somewhere. And when I started with Hilton, I was a blue member, which is their lowest caliber. And then as you sort of go along and get more points and get branded credit cards, you sort of move up the ranks. And by the time you get to diamond, you're sort of getting more perks. So I think if a person didn't have anything, you want to choose your home and then start finding out about the credit cards that are offered by that brand to start building up some points so that you can start having these stays, not just for you but your family as well. And it's usually quite doable. You just sort of got to do the research and make it happen.
Now you hit on a great point, and I won't say, yeah, I'm gonna throw my wife under the bus here. Yeah, brand loyalty. I said, yeah, she doesn't watch my podcast anyways. um, but brand loyalty, it's one of those things I've ever spoken about. The airlines, the hotels, that makes sense. I admittedly don't play that game very well. Can you go a little deeper for the audience? Like, hey, how important really is that?
Yeah, I mean, I believe it's really important for the reason I sent you, because then all my points are with one chain. So
Yeah.
then when I want something, it's much easier to have work towards it rather than sort of be scattered. It's sort of like you and I talk about YouTube channels, niches leads to riches rather than, oh, I'm a YouTuber and, I talk about everything. People, the YouTube algorithm wouldn't know who to send your channel out to. And it's sort of like picking a hotel. They're going to give you more when you iron down. So picking the chain. So I actually read a book by Conrad Hilton a number of years ago. It's called Be My Guest, and it talked about his journey into the hotel business. And I really just thought he was a very down-to-earth man. And I was like, that's who I'm going to pick to be loyal to. And then that's when I read the article on, sort of getting a hotel credit card. And that sort of began my journey. And I mean, it took me 9 years to be a diamond member. So it wasn't like these things happen overnight. And I think that's the thing. When you watch other people who are different places and you got to realize they didn't get there overnight. And that was sort of the beginning of the hotel hustler story. Was about 20 years ago.
I love this. Can you pull back the veil a little bit on this? So what does that mean to be a diamond member versus some of the other levels?
Yeah, so if you're a diamond member with Hilton, they roll out the red carpet for you. It's like you get a mandatory room upgrade if there's one available. You always get breakfast included. You get extra points. You get double points. You get waters when you come in, and it's basically recognition. And sometimes you even have your own check-in line when you get to the hotel. But another thing I read on that vlog, which I do every time, is I'll try to get the general manager's email address ahead of time. I'll send them a letter. And for this last trip where we went to France and London, I said, hey, my wife and I were celebrating my birthday, her birthday, and our wedding anniversary. And I know it's based on space availability, but I would love a complimentary room upgrade if it's available. If not, I completely get it. I would say 9 times out of 10, they let me know ahead of time. They will upgrade me because they know the capacity of the rooms. And usually there's, wine and chocolate and different things waiting for you and a letter. So, I mean, it enhances the quality of my stay, and sort of the more they give to me, the more I want to give to them and be even more loyal.
That's awesome. That's great. So you've probably seen all the different type of brands as well, in addition to Hilton, from budget to luxury. What are some of the more underrated hotel chains or loyalty programs that you can recommend in addition to sort of Hilton?
Oh, what's the one La Quinta? Who's the parent company of La Quinta? So, I mean, if you're, let me Google that real quick. If you're getting, I think, if you're just getting into hotel game, like I said, it's picking who you want. But I mean, the thing is with Marriott and Hilton, remember, like Hilton has everything from LXR, Conrad,
Okay.
and Waldorf down to places that they call like Spark, Hilton Garden Inn, and Hampton Inn. So you can be loyal to a chain and have every rung of,
The
category of
different
service
brands. Okay.
in
Yeah.
there, because not every time I stay, I don't have enough points to stay at like a 5-star hotel every time. I wish I
Right.
did. Sometimes, I got to grind and build up my points. So I'll be like, all right, I'm going to book a night at a, Hilton Garden Inn or a Hampton Inn or whatever it is. So even with a chain, you can find something that fits your budget and build your loyalty.
That's great. And so what's been some of the most unique experiences you've had as traveling around in the Hilton family?
Yeah. So during COVID, my wife and I, we had wanted to go to Amsterdam, and it was just travel was so far shut down. So we went to the Conrad in Washington, D.C., which is a luxury property. We're going to spend 5 nights there. And I sent an email to the person, like the general, customer relations desk ahead of time. And I said, my wife and I were planning to go to Amsterdam for our wedding anniversary, but instead, we're coming here, and, we're looking forward to our stay in a great week in Washington, D.C. Turns out, funnily enough, the girl who read my email, she's from Holland. So when we were waiting, she had like a framed picture of the Waldorf in Amsterdam. She's like, "Sorry, you're not staying here. Here's a 6-pack of Heineken. Here's some stroopwafels." And they had upgraded us to a suite, which was literally larger than some apartments I've rented in my lifetime. I mean, it had a fireplace, it had a reading chair, it had a dining room table for 6. So it's just taking that extra step, because I think hotels, if they know about an anniversary, a special occasion, they will go out of their way to help you, because you and I know it's all social media. So it probably costs them not that much to buy us a 6-pack of Heineken or some Stroopwafels, but it makes you feel so special. So I think people just have to let hotel know why is the stay, or why is the stay at their hotel special to them, and I think they want to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. I'm blanking out on the name of the
keynote speaker that was at EXPCon in Miami last year. I know you're also an agent at EXPCon. Were you there in Miami last year?
I wasn't.
Yeah, so there was a guy. Oh my God, I'm blanking on it, but it was the same concept. He's in the producer of The Bear. Man, he's just a famous guy. But it was the same concept. It was just going above and beyond, but in the area of food and restaurants. And he told some incredible stories about, hey, they would do this for their guests. In fact, they had a story about uh, a couple from Spain, where I live, right? And they were visiting New York for the first time, had never seen snow. So he had the staff go out there, get a sled for them, a horse carriage, got them to Central Park, and had a sledding experience for this family who never had experienced snow in their lifetime. And I imagine that's what you're talking about, right?
That's right. That was written about a restaurant in New York City called 11 Madison Park,
Yes.
EMP. I've actually read like the founders of that place, his book, and he talks about those experiences that of people coming off the street and they want to go to his restaurant. They're like, oh, I don't have any change for the parking meter. They're like, don't worry, we got it. And that, they got hundreds of quarters. They'll walk out there and jam that parking meter full for them.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. So, what are some of the green flags when you're so even picking within the brand that you would tell this is a great hotel that I want to stay at?
Yeah, to me, I mean, like I said, I mean, you're going to get a different level of. We actually did a YouTube, vlog sort of on 5-star hotels versus 1-star hotels, and what is the difference? And a lot of times it's amenities. Like we just stayed at a hotel in London. It's called the St. Ermines, and it's actually a Marriott property, an autograph property. And the only reason it is not a 5-star hotel is because they don't have parking and they don't have a spa, but the service was beyond 5-star. And I mean, I've stayed at, Hilton Garden Inns and Hampton Inns where it's basically limited amenities. They might have an indoor swimming pool, but it's not like what you'd say a luxury hotel. But all the staff has just been out of their way amazing. So sometimes it's so hard to judge the book by the cover because just because it's more of a motel hotel doesn't mean you're going to have bad service or a bad stay. And we were just in a 5-star hotel in the south of France, and it's technically a 5-star hotel, but I would say the service was more 3 or 4 stars. So you really hard to know what you're getting sometimes before you get there. But I love TripAdvisor reviews.
Okay.
Always read those. And then, I mean, go on YouTube. People are making videos about staying at hotels from 5-star to 1-star and everything in between. Just put it in the YouTube search engine and, Saks Hotel Paris, where we stayed when we were there. And you'll see if there's any video reviews. And hopefully most of the people are being honest about their experience there.
Yeah, no, that's true. In this day and age, everything's available out there, and I imagine with the AI is even more. I've never really fully comprehended, like I'm sure you understand the difference on the star system. Could you tell the audience out there, like what goes into deciding what's a 1-star versus a 5-star?
So when we did our research on the star system, it begins to get a little crazy. It was formed probably in I think 1958 by Mobil, the oil and gas company.
Interesting.
They put in the star system to help travelers evaluate what kind of lodging or accommodations they were getting as they traveled across the United States. And sort of simultaneously in Europe, Michelin started doing the same thing, and they've since branched into restaurants. So
Right.
a 1-star hotel, basically sort of by universal standards, is guaranteeing you a bed. Cleanliness might be questionable. By the time you're up to a 3-star hotel, maybe you're getting a desk in the room, you're getting a cleaner room, maybe a phone. Not that phones are a thing, but sort of more of a touch point with the desk where you've checked in. And then when you get to 5-star, they're going to have a spa, they're going to have a pool, they're going to have butlers for your room depending on what kind of service you pay for. So you'll sort of know, and it's by the price point too. But I mean, price points can be interesting as well. Just because someone could be charging a high price, but doesn't mean it's 5-star service. And like I said, the hotel we stayed in London, they were charging what I would say less than the 5-star hotels, but they were giving more than 5-star service. So you really just sort of got to do your research. And I mean, I think the one on the 5 stars can be deceiving because Some of them are issued by third-party rating sources, like we said, like Mobile or Michelin or
Right.
Forbes or AAA, their diamond system. And then others, like in India and France, I believe they're issued by sort of the state, just based on a set of criteria. If they have this at the hotel, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a five-star hotel. So it can get confusing.
Yeah, imagine that's sort of why I asked it, and I never really dug into it. But I just went by, all right, cool, it's got a lot of stars. But to your point, just because it has a lot of stars doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the greatest experience as well.
Yeah, and I'm sorry
Uh,
if that answer was confusing, but the more
no, not at
research
all.
I've
It's
done,
sort of what I expected to be, frankly. Right?
yeah, I was like, there's
Yeah.
a lot of moving parts to the
Yeah.
star rating or ranking system.
So David, tell me, you've been all over the world. Have you been like to every continent? Tell me.
So where have I not been? So I've been in North and South America. I've been to Europe, been to Africa. I've been to Cambodia. So I don't know what's that about I don't think I've been to
Five, yeah.
yeah, I don't think I've been to the poles. So so pretty well rounded. But I mean, I love Europe. My wife and I, we love going back and forth to Europe. So it's hard to get out of the Europe tractor beam.
Now I'm the same way. I've been stuck on five. I did have a goal to hit all seven continents by the time I turned 50. I missed it. I still need Australia and Antarctica, and nobody's interested in going to Antarctica. And I don't think they have hotels there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think if you're going to Antarctica, you have to pretty much pay for like a luxury travel
Yeah.
experience.
Take a boat,
Yeah,
or I think there's one plane that's not that fun to do. Yeah. So,
yeah,
in addition to the Hotel Hustler, you're also an agent with our company as well, EXP. So,
correct,
based out of Arizona. So,
correct.
tell me a little bit how you've sort of been able to combine the two of those things together, and how has enriched your experience for both of the businesses.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, like I said earlier, I was very grateful that my parents instilled in me the gift of travel. When I was 15, I did a student exchange program to Germany. Spent a month, in Germany for the summer. Not that I came back fluent in German or anything, but I've always had an affinity for the German people. And I'm part of a networking group in Phoenix called BNI, stands for Business Network International. And about 5 years ago, during COVID, I went online, I looked up German real estate agents, and I just started setting up what you call in BNI world. It's like a one-to-one, sort of like you and I are doing now. You ask about them, you learn about them and your business. And at the end of the conversation, you say, hey, how can you and I help each other to grow each other's business? And I met this one guy named Gerd Wernicke, German real estate agent. And I said, hey, Gerd, EXP is expanding into Germany. Would you look at our business model? I'd love to get your thoughts on it. And he's like, sure. And so I sent it to him. It's like, a video. And he actually became the first EXP agent in Germany. So I've actually been back to, I know EXP, we're in the cloud, we're in the world, but I still believe in that human touch. And I've been to Frankfurt to visit Garrett a couple times and sort of, shoot videos with him and try to help keep growing EXP Germany. So that's how I try to combine sort of, my real estate with my love of travel. My wife loves to travel, so I got a great partner in her, is that we're very aligned on a lot of our goals and where we want to go in the future.
Yeah. So our company, Expat Livin, is about taking that dream of moving abroad. A lot of us sort of feel like, hey, man, that dream's a little too far away. I've got to retire. I can't make a living abroad. And we were at a conference together. That's how I got to meet David. And I don't know how we got on it, but we talked about how sort of traveling is sort of like the gateway drug into actually making this move abroad. And it's become my passion for those of you who know a little bit about me. Part of my drive to help people to move abroad is because my mom passed away at age 52. And her and my dad had talked about traveling around the world, whether it's sort of doing what I do or what you do, David. And they never achieved that, right? She passed away way too young, and my dad and her never did get to see the world. And so whether you're traveling short term, and just going on vacation, or doing what we've done, which is sort of move abroad for a more extended period of time. Like I believe that we have this incredible, beautiful world to see, and why not see as much of it you can before your days are done, right?
I didn't. You never told me that story before, so I'm sorry for your loss. And I think what you and I have in common on that is how I mentioned and I got goosebumps where you're telling me that stories. We're both grateful for our parents and you saw like maybe a dream unrealized and you're like, I'm going to finish that dream. And I saw what I could have too in terms of like wanting to stay at, nice hotels. And I think my common goal in Expat Living and Hotel Hustler is that we want to add value to other people. We want to say, this is attainable. You can do it. Or trust me, we're no one special. If you want to travel, if you want to live in another country, no better time than the present.
Absolutely. I mean, I know family members who have never got on a plane or who just vacation in the same spot. And I've told the story to other people. Like there's a beach town right outside of Philadelphia that our family goes to religiously. That's where sort of our family reunion. Motel along the beach, nothing special, not great service, not definitely not Hilton. And the amount of money we sort of calculated one time when we were sort of calculating it was you could go to Italy and stay and explore a different culture for way cheaper than it was costing to just spend a week in this motel along the beach, which again, great family experience. But when you're doing year after year, I'm driven like there is just so much in the world to see. Let me go experience. And you draw on those experiences to inform your personal lives, your parents out there, enrich your children's lives. If you're a business owner, enrich your business, right? All these things, taking different perspectives and applying these lessons from across the world are super, super important.
And you hit on a key point that, I mean, it can be, just as much to travel in Europe as it can in the States with what you said, your family pays for, where they stay. We just stayed for a 2-night stay. It's a 5-star hotel in Paris called the Saks Hotel Paris. It just literally opened like 5 or 6 months ago. For the suite we got upgraded to, it's going for like over 1,100 euros a night. We stayed 2 nights. I literally didn't pay anything. I had a certificate from my credit card and I had points for the other. So, I mean, just to your point that international travel is available to you. Nobody's going to hand it to you, but you got to put a little effort into it. And then if that's your dream, people can make it happen. They can reach out to you, reach out to me. We're happy to talk to people and say, this is the blueprint. Do it.
Yeah, you've inspired me because some of these things are sort of the internal conversations we had. And I had the internal conversation like, I can't stay at many hotels because of the size of our family, but I'm in. I'm going to start looking at those programs, jumping all in. And why don't you tell the people where can they follow your journey and get the best hotel hacks and travel tips?
Yeah, absolutely. So my YouTube channel is The Hotel Hustler. So just type it in and you'll see that guy in the white suit, which is to my left or to my right there. And you'll find the channel. And we appreciate anybody who subscribes and watches our videos, because I, like you, Guillermo, I believe time is our most valuable commodity. So the fact that people choose to watch you and your wife's videos, Expat Livin or Hotel Hustler videos, I'm grateful for them. So thanks to people in advance.
Absolutely. And that we'll leave on that note, like tomorrow is never promised, right? And so if traveling the world, seeing the sights, experiencing all the beautiful things that the world can offer is one of your dreams, then take the answer is start taking action, even a small little action. Maybe just go get that membership card, right? With Hilton, that's a great step. In fact, can you tell them how to do that?
I mean, be responsible, with a credit card. Like I always pay it off every month, but I mean,
Yes, for sure.
find out what chain speaks to you. Is it Marriott? Is it Hilton? Is it Hyatt? Who is it? And then research, sign up for their, loyalty program, and then start researching the credit cards around it to find out, if one of them has the annual membership fee that's tolerable to you and it gives you the point bonus that you can start with. And if you have any questions about it, reach out to me and I'll tell you whether it's, good, bad, or otherwise.
Awesome. Thank you, David. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Guillermo. Appreciate you.
Man, that was packed with gold. So if you've ever felt like travel's too expensive or moving abroad feels out of reach, I hope this episode showed you that, what's possible when you learn to play the game a little bit differently. Huge shout out to David Bryson, the Hotel Hustler. Go check out his YouTube channel. It's full of hacks to save you hundreds on hotels and make your travel experience feel first class without blowing your budget. And if you're serious about making your dream move abroad a reality, from visas to housing to finding your community overseas, then head over to our website, expatlivin.com. You'll find step-by-step guides, real expat stories, and the tools you need to move with clarity and confidence. Don't just dream it, plan it, live it, and own it. I'm Guillermo from Expat Livin, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Setting sail on future trips. No